What is up, everybody, and welcome to another ShawnSetGO video. This is probably going to be my last one before the holidays, but you knew it was coming with the brand new update of Siren Isles. So what I wanted to do was get a nice little read of what everyone was thinking of Siren Isles, but I kind of have my own opinions about it. So before we get to the Reddit posts and the memes, etc., basically my thoughts on Siren Isle is that it was intended to be something to fill the gap. And I think it was also intended to be a retention mechanic to bring people back long enough to last to the next patch. But I want to say that I really think that it missed the mark in a number of ways. And let's talk about that. So before we jump into this, of course, like the video if you do like this one. And if you do find my videos helpful, subscribe to the page as we do a lot of World of Warcraft content. We will be adding more and more as the holidays go on. But mainly with these upcoming weeks, you may be seeing me a little bit less. I got some holiday plans upcoming, but I might be live here and there. So if you haven't already, catch me live, twitch.tv/ShawnSetGO. Oh my God, that was a long breath. Anyways, let's jump into it. What is everyone's stance on Siren Isle so far? I've seen some people liking it for transmog. You can buy other trash for the ring, but personally, I just don't find the zone enjoyable, like at all. I get that it's an expansion Forbidden Reach type zone, but it's already dreadfully grindy for the first time. I don't know. On top of that, the zone seemed awfully clustered with the repeatables. First started rolling in. Practically every corner had something to do, overwhelming level for me. Maybe I'm just getting tired of the formula they are using, but interested to hear what everyone thinks. I don't want to skip this last sentence because I think it's really important right here. Maybe I'm just tired of the formula. I don't want to say this is wrong. But I disagree with this statement. I think the formula was always bad. Like the formula's always been bad. It's always been boring. But when you're doing something you love, it's fun. So it's always been in a poor state. So this isn't like a classic thing. Oh, classic minded. You know, you played too much retail, so obviously you must not like it. It's always been bad. So let's not kid ourselves. It's just when you're not enjoying the game, you think you care. So let's just jump into that. But I don't want to like pounce on that, but I mean, otherwise, this point's actually a good point. The first thing says it's definitely one of the islands of all time. It certainly is a place you can go. Not having any professional materials whatsoever feels more stupid than it already is. At least I could be gathering a bit or dropping some cloth while dealing with this stupid thing. But nope, none of that happening. Obviously, like this is one of those things. I mean, what it seemed like to me when I first jumped into the island, I was overwhelmed with the amount of quests there was. It seemed like I was grabbing quest aim dailies almost immediately, but I was able to kind of like cluster and like do it within a couple hours, to the point where I only had one quest left to get like little bits that it says you can drop from really any creature, but really it's the elites and the little cave expeditions that you do every once in a while. So in reality, you get like one every few of those that you do. So you could probably grind out for quite a few hours and get the amounts. But what do you need it for? I mean, why? I mean, if you want all the cosmetics, sure. But to me, all the cosmetics look hella bland. There's not really any color to them. They're not interesting. I much rather take my axe from Burning Crusade because it's purple and it glows. I mean, that's like the best features about any weapon in World of Warcraft, really. And for me as well, like the currency that you get, like this endless currency that you get. If you don't feel like buying cosmetics, what else can you use it on? So it's just like there's not really a whole lot of point to it. It feels like I was annoyed by the dooming when it was announced, but now that I've spent some time here, I don't really like it. Forbidden Reach 2.0 is one thing, but Siren Isle is so tiny and removed from Khazalgar that it really feels like a closed instant zone that it is. At least with Forbidden Reach, you can fly to it from there, to and from there. It's claustrophobic. The mounts, transmogs don't really appeal to me, so I don't really tend to spend their time there for anything that doesn't have to do with the ring. And I don't think you have to spend a lot of time there to do the stuff for the ring anyways. I got my first one, the first one I needed pretty quickly. People are pumping those missions super quick. So the second one came almost immediately. Like the second time I jumped into Siren Isle, I was like, oh, there it is. And then the third one, I literally just bought from a vendor for 50 of the currency you get. So it was so fast. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm done. I guess there might be more to this, you know, I don't know, maybe there'll be like upgrades, etc. Like, but that's really it. And then everybody who's on the like the higher end for me, who's doing like mythic rating, they're like, oh yeah, like it's a downgrade for me. So, like they're almost like I don't want it. Like it's not what I'm looking for. So that's kind of a sad thing. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've heard. So let's jump into the second post here. I could go on for this a while. This is by Brumgar here, but the second post says, Siren Isle, what a waste. Bulky Initiative 862 says, well, as I suspected, Siren Isle is nothing more than a wasted space. Went there, did a few quests, realized it's fairly similar to the Panda Isle, immediately logged off. I had hoped that the War Within Questing world was good, but this seems slapped together by interns. Here's to having hope Blizzard would create content to actually keep players engaged until next expansion. Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't think or expect that this was going to be something to really keep people engaged for the expansion, maybe just till next patch, and maybe something you readdress in between patches. I think that's totally fine. What I had hoped is sort of like with the anniversary quest that they would bring elites bosses into the game that would introduce ways to complete things around the world, kind of spark interest into other expansions or just previous expansions. I mean, since this did come from another expansion that was just unreleased content, I was thinking it would be something like that. And then we would have ways to get old content on top of getting the actual cosmetics, transmog, whatnot, what may have you, mounts, etc., toys, pets, whatever. Beyond that, also getting a couple of neat pieces of gear here and there, maybe, you know, like a nice little vendor in there, but they kind of just hyper focused on the ring. But I don't know if the ring was quite enough to be like, oh yeah, this is the selling point. At least at first I thought like, oh, this is going to be just overpowered, but maybe they just tempered it too much to the point where it's like the ring is like great, but it's like once that's done, I mean, like, it's like you're kind of done. You're just kind of over it. So, I mean, the whole Timeless Isle Mechagon content, so to each their own. Oh, they like the content, so to each their own. It really is trash content. I'm not terribly surprised, but in the spectrum of WoW patch islands, it's pretty bad. Maybe the worst ever. I want this to be 100% clear. By the way, when you see posts like this that have a good amount of comments, but no updates, the reason why is because this has been downvoted into the ground by Reddit commenters to the point where they cannot maintain this. Like this post, I guarantee will be removed. Like at some point due to negativity, like to kind of like filter it out naturally, just kind of weave it out. That way, when it's deleted or removed for some sort of reason, like I'm quitting WoW post or something like that. That's what happened with my post when I would criticize WoW. It would always be that. Pretty sorry content. Pretty much made the max item level ring high enough that the content is mandatory if you're raiding or doing mythic. Yeah, and I think that's why. I mean, this is just like a theory of mine. That's why whenever you get the ring, shortly after you increase its item level. I think that they initially had created it going, oh well, everyone's gonna want this, and then there's a item level boost to it. So it's like, oh well, just in case you're too high of an item level, you're gonna get this as well. So you have to. It's literally scrap content from 3 expansions ago that they've warmed up and pushed out the door. Yeah, and the thing is, they could have done a lot more with this, considering the anniversary quests and area. I feel like had so much involvement and still has people engaged in it. But I feel like this one was very half-baked in the sense that they could have done a lot more with it. A lot cool events that you can play with. You know, we have so many different type of quests that are actually fun to do. You know, they're not challenging, but they're neat. You got, you know, like you have puzzles, you have Bejeweled, you have the keys, and like how we have to find certain the runes and stuff like that. And then you have rare elites on there. Like there's plenty of ways to make engaging content in there that doesn't require you having the best level of gear or giving you some sort of like quintessential piece to your gear. It's all there. You just got to make it fun and enjoyable and not so hollow. Kill 10 of these. I think like really to me it's kill 50 elites so you can get this random item, like scraps of this item together, and then yeah, congrats. You know, like that's the thing. Make it so, honestly, to me at this point, make it so that people who don't feel like grinding out your reps, who don't feel like doing the dailies, who don't feel like doing delves, world quests, just give them routes to where doing Siren Isles is just another way you can do it in a condensed format. And if it doesn't cover all of it, maybe it covers 75% of that, you know, achieving rep grinds, achieving weekly quest completions, achieving some sort of weeklies, vault completion, achieving some sort of transmog or achievement completion by fighting bosses that you didn't fight the world bosses in the other ones. You don't want to wait or go to the old zones. You don't feel like doing that. Give routes for people to enjoy that content in separate ways, or in more packaged, condensed ways, so you don't have to just create some like BS story about like, oh, it's like a look at this ore in the ground, it's so interesting and fun. Like, stop trying to tell us it's fun and just give us the content that is fun instead. It works out much better. The last one I have here is a meme. And the meme says, after checking out the BIS list for Cersei's circlet, it says, why when something happens is it always you three? It's the Harry Potter meme, and it's Stormbringer's Rune Citrine, Fathom Dweller's Rune Citrine, Legendary Skipper's Citrine. Literally the BIS list. I think for warriors as well. I'm pretty sure my prot warrior, this is what I have. I'm willing to hear that there's others, but I've heard that this is the main three. I use these I use these three on all of my characters except my warrior. Wow. So I guess there is some slight variation, but I haven't seen it on the sites. I just used Wowhead and Icy Vades, but aren't the first two dropping from the bugged boss? Sure are. Yeah, I might have gotten these from the same one. Now that I think about it, this is the Skipper Citrine is the one I bought from the vendor, the turtle vendor. So that was pretty easy. Ring gimmick is that you don't get the secondaries in exchange for strong effects. The strongest effects is secondary gems. It's hard. Is it hard to make the ring have secondaries like all the others, cool effects on top of it? Are we getting something like that in 13.0.7? The design is stupid as putting a tier gear without secondaries. Yeah, it's kind of wild, to be honest. I'm still convinced that I'm almost certain that they're trying to make it not the best thing while simultaneously making it the best thing. I don't know how to prove it though, so I'll hold that theory for a while. This is yet again how I know nobody on the dev team actually plays the game. If they thought for a moment that players would pick raw stats over underperforming procs and effects, they absolutely know nothing about the player base. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure these three, the reason why people pick them is because they are the raw stats and not the proccing effects. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, but I believe this is like, it's like a mastery. And I think this is another mastery of some sort. If not mastery, maybe haste. And then this third one is like a proc based on your mastery. So it's a wild set of stats. Maybe I'll correct that in post, but I'm pretty sure the way that people play it is like, here's the dedicated stats. I'm not going to bank on something proccing. I'm just going to go for stats. Duh. Unless you're 630 plus and parse 90s, the ST gem outperforms the stat gem. Really? Unless you're 620 plus and have 9k mastery at least, and you do close to your sim DPS, the DPS gem outperforms the mastery gem and N plus. And the BIS third gem for everyone who doesn't have mastery is their highest stat in the random proc gem, regardless of performance or item level. BIS lists are based on having BIS gear in every other slot. If you don't, sim your character because the results are probably not what you think they are, and remember to adjust how you actually perform in game. If you're doing 70% of your sim DPS, then stat gems will provide 70% of their value. DPS procs will do the same damage regardless of our rotations per minute. Only low uptime in stat buffs or low uptime on the boss will reduce the damage of a DPS gem. WoW is not made or designed for perfectly simulated robots with BIS gear, and it shouldn't be. But if I don't face the boss 30% of the time, the proc gems won't do much as they sim for. I guess. At least say which spec you're talking about. Literally all of them have a ton of vaults. I simmed all this a week with their rings. So I mean, yeah, I guess I can hear that out. That basically your procs are your procs, I guess, adjust for, I guess, you're less dedicated certain stats, but if you're not playing your class optimally, then you would benefit from it more, because it's like you get better stats temporarily. So as long as you line up your abilities, I guess. I think that's what it's saying. These are the random proc ones, explicitly random proc ones, the single target proc one, and the one that makes procs scale with mastery. One of them is a random proc one. The rest are pure stats. Yeah, the rest are pure stats. That's the way it is. And the only reason why the proc ones to train is there because it sims a little bit better. Blizzard should have known the procs weren't going to compete with raw stats. Yeah, no, I feel like I feel like still that raw stats are always going to be beneficial. Fair enough. Image does show the stats one. Every spec I play has the single target proc one over the stats one. So I double checked, not include the ones marked as interchangeable. It's roughly 66% stats, 33% procs. Blizzard shouldn't have known that the players were going to pick what sims best. I mean, honestly, at first, see, things are still changing right now, but at first what I was seeing is I was seeing two different sets of the gems. I was seeing a Mythic Plus set and I was seeing a rating set. But now it seems like I'm just seeing just one for every class. But I may be wrong. But as a tank, damage procs are the best by far. Except they aren't, because all of the damage proc gems are nerfed by 33% if you are in tank or healer spec. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is kind of unfortunate. You can buy skippers from a vendor. There you go. The vendors have all have the gems out only after you get that gem from a boss. They're also warbound. I don't think that's true. Yeah, I definitely now had a couple which they were selling. Yeah, that's definitely not true. For those still needing these, aggro the boss at the entrance of the tunnel. Let him stay there until it goes away. He won't leave. After the event starts, again, you nuke him. Just be careful if someone is in the open area outside the tunnel because you can charge it out of and reset after you just buy the gem. I think I got it accidentally. So the problem is his health is scaling, making them nuke extremely difficult. So yeah, I mean, it's not, I mean, the whole scaling thing is frustrating too, just because you could be doing it and then people join afterwards and just makes it exceedingly long. It's so frustrating. Now people are just talking about how to bug the boss. So this is a very, very well made patch. Obviously the boss is definitely not bugged or have issues. Yeah, I would say ultimately, I mean, this is me giving my thoughts again on this, but ultimately my thoughts on this is that they couldn't have done a lot more with this. I think that if the intent from this, if their intention was to make this something to keep people playing, I think they missed that by a long shot. I was bored day one. And I came into it day two going, well, I just need this gem. And then I left. There's literally no reason for me to go back. I don't think so anyways. So I'll still, I guess, go just to like pass the time between queues, maybe. I really don't know. I really don't know why I want to go. So I'm kind of standing in a position of a lot of people where it's just like, I think I got, like, no joke, I got adventurer tier gear from there, and I'm like, what is this? Like, why are you giving me this? I don't want this. So it's a strange state to be, but it's one of those things that I think that we all expected more, but we all received less. So happy holidays. They could have done something Christmas with it too. Man, could have gave us something. That would have been a nice gift. Guess not. we're all on Krampus's list, I guess. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this was informative to you. I hope that you can find whatever gear you need, you know, whether this is the piece that you're looking for. I hope you get something out of this. You know, even if you don't get, like, you know, gear out of this or something great out of this, besides just the ring, then maybe some good cosmetics. So I do hope that this is something to keep you on board just a little bit longer, because I don't want anybody quitting from this, but it seems it happens. But until next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.